Three black speedboats sliced through the darkness beneath my inherited Cliffside mansion at 3 in the morning, engines barely more than a whisper against the crash of Pacific waves below. And you know what? I was standing there filming through my old night vision camera when the damn SWAT team burst through my front door, assault rifles locked on my chest, red laser dots dancing across me like angry fireflies. And all I could think was, how in the hell did I end up here? Drop the camera. Get on the ground now. The lead guy barked loud enough to shake dust from rafters that hadn't seen a broom in 50 years. My hands were shaking so bad the camera clattered across the hardwood, still recording boots storming in. But then something impossible happened. The SWAT commander, full gear mask tactical, everything stared at me for a long second like he was seeing a ghost. "Theon, what the hell are you doing here?" That voice hadn't heard it in more than a decade, but I'd know it anywhere. My Uncle Rex, the family mystery man who vanished from holidays years back, was standing in my bedroom leading a federal raid on what I thought was just my weirdly inherited coastal property. 3 days before I'd rolled up to this $8 million Victorian dinosaur perched on a 200-foot cliff with nothing but Pacific storms for company. My great-uncle Cornelius, whom I'd never met, had left it to me out of nowhere, a lifeline for a divorced Navy engineer trying to keep a lid on PTSD and a pile of legal bills. The estate lawyer called it a windfall. I called it a miracle, or maybe the universe tossing me a curveball after 6 months of bad breaks. And the house itself, 14 bedrooms, 11 baths, built in 1895, full of secret passages, and supposedly a cave system leading straight to a private beach. I figured it was just an old family myth, or maybe something to brag about at a bar one day, you know. But then, morning after I moved in, Isadora Peaton, 56, HOA president, purple Bentley, pastel pink suit, so bright it could blind a lifeguard, came rolling up my gravel driveway, flanked by 3 board members who looked more like mob extras than neighbors. "Surrender the property to HOA control within 48 hours, she said, as if I'd wandered into her private kingdom. I figured she was just another petty tyrant. Turns out she was running a $47 million smuggling ring right under my feet. And my eccentric great-uncle, undercover customs agent, spent 2 decades tracking every dirty shipment, every bribe, every family she'd ruined. I had no clue my Uncle Rex was just waiting for someone me to inherit the house so he could spring the trap on this whole criminal circus. In 72 hours, I'd learn all of that and more. Like why 6 families disappeared from the neighborhood under mysterious circumstances. Why ghost boats slid along the coast at night. Why Isadora was headed for 35 years in federal prison. Her little empire was about to tumble into the ocean, just like the cliffs she tried so hard to control. If you're from California, Oregon, or Washington, smash that like button and drop your city in the comments. I'm still trying to figure out how deep this HOA corruption really runs. Now, the real story started 3 days before the raid, fog so thick you could chew it, moving truck wheezing up the coastal road, and this mansion appearing out of the mist like some haunted movie set, turrets peeling shingles, windows staring at the ocean. "Looks haunted as hell," my driver said. He wasn't wrong. Every house on the block drew their curtains when I glanced their way. Not a single neighbor hello, just that heavy silence of folks waiting to see if you'd survive the first week. And the smell salty air mixed with something chemical sharp, almost like battery acid coming from somewhere below. First person to greet me wasn't Isadora, but Mrs. Wong next door. Ancient floral housecoat, nervous eyes. "You're Cornelius's nephew. Get cameras. Don't drink anything from the Pink Lady. Never go in the caves after midnight." Before I could answer, the purple Bentley prowled around the corner and Mrs. Wong vanished, slamming her door with 5 locks clicking behind her. Isadora strutted up, pink suit blinding in the morning sun, flanked by 2 muscleheads and a woman clutching a tablet like a shield. "We need to discuss your situation," she said, her voice sugary but sharp. She didn't even wait for an invitation, just barged into my house, started poking around, pulling HOA bylaws out of her purse. Your great-uncle's mental capacity was questionable, she purred. This property falls under our amended jurisdiction. You have 48 hours to sign over management rights or prepare for legal hell. She listed off families who'd fought and lost: the Hendersons, the Kowalskis, the Ningguans, all run out by legal fees and anonymous complaints. But the kicker, as they left, the nervous woman dropped a business card, just a shaky note that said, "Check the basement walls." He knew everything. That night, while pretending to unpack, I swept the house top to bottom. The basement was weird: steel door, high security lock, poured concrete and cinder blocks, and the chemical smell way stronger. Hidden cameras, 7 of them, all pointed at one wall. When I pressed it, gave a little. A false wall. My phone buzzed. "Don't open it yet. They're watching. Act normal. A friend." The next day, the harassment started. Lawn too tall, $200 fine. Fence post 3 degrees off, $350. Mailbox squeaks, $150. By noon, I'd racked up $900 in violations for nonsense. But I noticed every inspector tried the basement door, checking the lock, snapping photos. They weren't just harassing, they were searching for something. That night, I set up my own cameras, motion sensors, you name it. At 3:12 a.m., my phone blew up, motion detected by the cliffs. I crept to the window and watched 3 black speedboats sliding toward the rocks. They disappeared beneath the house engines, echoing from the caves, and for 40 minutes I filmed cargo moving, voices in English and Mandarin, metal clanging. The wine cave was a full-blown port. Zipkey. Morning of day 3. I woke to find 17 fake security cameras staring at my house, dummy intimidation. But the real surveillance was happening elsewhere. That's when Jake Morrison, the local harbor master, hiked up my back steps, handed me a waterproof case, and a cryptic message. Cornelia said, "The birds aren't real. Use this when the time comes." Inside was a key, a GPS tag, and a note behind the wine that never ages. That night I found the secret. A wine rack hiding a fake bottle twisted like a knob to reveal a command center monitor's files, a safe that the key unlocked. Inside, Cornelius's true ID, 2 decades of custom surveillance. Every smuggling run, financial records, murder victims, photos, a USB drive labeled insurance, and a letter. If you're reading this, I'm probably dead. Isadora's been poisoning me. When you call the FBI and say my name, ask for Rex Sullivan. The next shipment is Friday at 3 a.m. Now I finally got it. The HOA wasn't a legal nightmare. It was a criminal front forcing out families to control the coast, running drugs, weapons, and trafficked people through the caves. And tonight was their last biggest shipment. I played my part, acted overwhelmed, let Isadora win. She scheduled a midnight basement meeting, wanted the transfer papers and access to the caves. But this time I was ready. I called the FBI tip line. "This is Theron Blackwood. My uncle Cornelius was an undercover agent. Tonight at 3, $47 million shipment through the caves." After a stunned silence, a new voice: "Special Agent David Park. Stay put. Captain Rex Sullivan will be there within 2 hours. My uncle, the family ghost, was coming back as the lead federal agent." When Rex arrived, older, harder, but still family, he explained it all. We needed someone on the inside. Cornelius let himself be poisoned, set the trap. Tonight's shipment isn't just drugs. It's weapons, fentanyl, and human cargo. It's national security. My job, get Isadora to confess on camera. The team would take care of the rest. At midnight, the basement became a stage. I scattered HOA documents, loaded recorders, and sat feigning defeat. Isadora swept in heels, clicking Judge Piton behind her, 6 enforcers in tow. She gushed about alternative commerce, confessed to poisoning. Cornelius boasted about millions moved every month, brushed off murder accusations as tragic accidents. She shoved the paperwork at me, gun in hand. Sign or disappear. Instead, I asked, "Does the name Rex Sullivan mean anything?" Her face went pale, and that's when I hit the panic button. Flashbangs detonated, federal agents stormed in red lasers everywhere. Shouts of federal agents down, chaos exploded. Isadora raised her gun, but a sniper shot spun her down. Judge Peaton tried to run straight into Rex's arms. "You'll need several lawyers," Rex told him. The tunnel erupted as the boats arrived. Agents swarmed, spotlights flashed, Coast Guard blocked escape, gunfire rattled, but in minutes it was over. 23 arrests, including the captains, crew truckers, and when they opened the containers, 17 trafficking victims, 2 weeks at sea, alive. By dawn, the cliffs were crawling with law enforcement. The news helicopter circled, neighbors peeked out, and Isadora, bleeding but alive, swore revenge as Rex leaned down. "Your lawyers are already in handcuffs. You're done." The HOA was dissolved, the assets used for restitution. The trials were fast and brutal, guilty on all counts. 35 years for Isadora, 40 for the judge, the rest for their crew. My house was no longer a front, it became the Cornelius Blackwood Marine Preserve. Months later, I'd stand out on the porch watching kids play on the reclaimed beach. Mrs. Wong running neighborhood watch. Rex retired, the community reborn. On the 1-year anniversary, I told my story at a community picnic about Cornelius, about fighting darkness with truth, about how easy it is for evil to hide behind bureaucracy if good people stay quiet. "The price of freedom," I said, "is eternal vigilance." Last week, a package arrived, no return address. Inside, a photo of 17 people outside a bakery called Cornelius's Kitchen, smiling, alive, free. "Your courage gave us our lives back. That's what mattered. Not revenge, not even justice, just the lives saved, the fear gone, the coast protected." The mansion creaks in the wind, but now it's just a house, a home with laughter and hope echoing off the cliffs. And if you've ever wondered how far an HOA would go to protect its secrets, let me tell you, sometimes it goes all the way to the edge and over. So what would you have done? Walked away or risked everything to end it? Drop your thoughts below, and if you've ever tangled with a corrupt HOA, I want to hear your story. Hit subscribe if you believe in fighting for what's right, and never let anyone tell you your voice doesn't matter. Sometimes, one stubborn homeowner is all it takes to bring down an empire.